in a world where the number of movies available is great, but many are so bad, you'll learn a new definition of hate. One man sifts and reviews through the movie sludge. One man will be the movie cop, jury, and judge. He goes by many names, but you know him by MoviesMerica.
Hey, all you beautiful movie-loving people out there, live from a red carpet somewhere, surrounded by celebrities. This is the MoviesMerica podcast with Van Ebert, where movie reviews meet cold brews. Van will review your favorite and maybe not so favorite movies while enjoying some ice-cold beers and saying cheers. Now let's head into the theater and join our illustrious movie reviewer du jour, who's no doubt got the beer ready to pour, Van Ebert. What's up, everybody? What's up? Hey, it's your main host, as opposed to an associate host. This is the main host. I'm the only host, so of course I'm the main host. This is Van Ebert. Welcome to MoviesMerica podcast here. Hopefully you guys are having an outstanding day, night, morning, afternoon, whatever, whenever you're listening to this here podcast. So today we are going to get into a little movie called Free Guy.
Today's gonna be different, Goldie. What are we looking at?
Who are you?
We ran into each other the other day.
How did you find me?
I waited outside by the murder train.
Guy, I have to tell you something. There is no easy way to say this. This world, it's a video game.
I really want to kiss you. Is that weird?
Listen to me. You're not real.
Wait, you let who kiss you?
Guy.
There's not a button for that.
Oh, he found the button.
And it's time for me to hit the button to continue this podcast here. So the time has come to hit the button. Thank you, the Chemical Brothers. Appreciate that. So call back to the Chemical Brothers there. So yeah, this is the Free Guy podcast this week, or this episode. And so we're going to go ahead and go over this little Ryan Reynolds movie this week. And just to let you guys know here, just to remind you, this podcast is on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher. Feel free to give it a 5-star rating there at the very bottom, if you would be so kind. And also, you can listen to the podcast on MoviesMerica.com. Also, I'm on Twitter and Instagram under MoviesMerica. And if you want to share anything with me there, anything, a critique, a praise, Granny's meatloaf recipe, whatever you want to run by me, by all means. And by the way, I do love meatloaf. So delicious. And so, yeah, again, tell me how terrible or terrific I am. And also, as with every other podcast here, before I really get into the meat of the podcast, I have to show you and tell you, what I'm going to be drinking with the meat of the podcast here. Because on this podcast, we drink beer on this podcast here. So I drink some brews to go with the reviews here. And so this beer this week here is actually another one of those Texas beers here. And so Community Brew Company is a brewery in Dallas, Texas. And it's pretty close to me here. And again, I'm not doing any endorsements. I'm not getting any kind of, any kind of money for this or anything like that. So I just enjoy some good old barley and hops when I'm doing another thing that I love, which is talking about movies, conversating about movies, just sitting down by the fireplace on the bearskin rug, just talking about movies and drinking beer. So, hey, this week's beer is from Community Brew Company. This brew is called Citrus Slice India Pale Ale, and it is, as you can tell from the title, from the name of the beer, it's good and citrusy, if that is a word. If it's not, it is now. All right. So, and it is pretty good, pretty nice. So it's almost like an extra citrusy Blue Moon to it, but it's it's going down pretty good. Matter of fact, I'm gonna take a little swig right now. Oh yeah, that's it. Quenches that deep down body thirst, so not quite taking an ST plunge, but pretty close. Also let you know this is going to be a spoiler-free review, so no need to scurry frantically and grab your earmuffs or anything like that. So it's going to be spoiler-free, of course. So let's get right into it, Let's get into Free Guy. Now, Free Guy, it stars Ryan Reynolds. Let's say that right here. How about we say that right? Ryan Reynolds. And he plays a character named Guy who just lives his life in a ultra-violent, action-packed world, a la the video game Grand Theft Auto. And his life is just the same thing every day. Just think back to Bill Murray in Groundhog Day, except for, he doesn't wake up to Sonny and Cher, playing I Got You, Babe. This is, it's not a complete ripoff of Groundhog Day. Come on. And so basically, since his world is really just a video game, everywhere he goes, there's explosions, there's fighter jets, helicopters flying around. It's kind of like Beirut in the 80s, I guess, but and there's tanks. And, of course, the bank that he works at gets robbed multiple times a day. And one day, though, however, he sees a girl and is captivated. And he breaks just his monotonous daily routine to follow her. And the movie just accelerates from there. So that is just kind of the jumping off point to this movie. The difference in this movie here is just it's the hook is that it's Ryan Reynolds playing Guy in a video game world, and he is what is called a NPC or a non-player character, I believe was what that is. And so he doesn't realize he's in a video game at first. That's kind of the Truman Show part of the movie, is that he just doesn't realize that he's in a video game. He's just thinks living in a world where he's watching TV and Apache helicopters are just flying by his window, and gun-toting, terrorists, are, zipping down zip lines outside his apartment, and tanks driving down his street. That's all normal to him. And it's, it does a good job at, just portraying the video game world. And, the visual effects are pretty good. It's just amazing. It's great that we live in this time of movies where, if you do the CGI right, you can really, create worlds, create situations that, you couldn't do back in the early 80s or the late 70s or anything like that, but now here we are in this day and age, and we can make cool movies like this. Now, this is, I'm old enough to remember there was a movie called Tron back in 1982 where it had to do with video games that, where a guy or some characters, they found themselves trapped in a video game, and, I remember back in 82, I thought that movie was pretty high tech. I thought that was like, man, it's not getting any better than this. This movie is a pinnacle of technological achievement. You watch it now, woo, it is not pretty. It is not pretty. But this movie is, it's using present day CGI, and it does a pretty good job in it, and it lends some humor and heart to the movie. Now, I will let you know that gamers will salivate at all the game references there, in this movie too. I mean, there's a lot of movie references as well. There's, you'll see like one I remember is they have the robot giant Terminator from Terminator Salvation. Some people might recognize that. And also, there's a scene where a particular character wears Batman's gloves from The Dark Knight Rises. There's a lot of stuff like that. And I mean, it's got the absurdities of video games in it, but it's played, that it's like it's normal, and Ryan Reynolds, he does it's exact opposite of Deadpool, in this movie. In Deadpool, he's just this hardened, just bogged down by life. Just very cynical, quipping, quick-witted, funny character here, I'm not afraid to be a little vulgar and irreverent, and, his character's hilarious. in Deadpool. You know, he's very, very aware and, you know, not naive at all. But Guy, his character here in Free Guy, it's the exact opposite. I mean, he does remind me of Truman, you know, from the Truman Show here. He's just, you know, innocent and naive and very friendly. You know, he goes around and, you know, he says like, hey, don't have a good day. Have a great day. I mean, just one of those guys, you know, which is said, you know, to kind of poke fun at somebody like that. It's like, that's just a guy being nice, you know, but, you know, he just kind of comes off as corny and cheesy, yet endearing, you know, at the same time. And I did, you know, you know, the fact that he was wearing this members only jacket, you know, was not lost on me. You know, I thought that was kind of a funny callback to the 80s, unless members only jackets are, you know, hip again, you know, it's in a retro kind of way, but that was not lost on me. And also, I mean, any movie that has a cameo by the late great Alex Trebek in it, that movie can't be all bad. And so they do cut away to Jeopardy in this movie, and Alex Trebek is still on there hosting, and so that was good to see that legend back on the screen. So it's, you know, just a lot of cameos in this movie, or I shouldn't say a lot, a few cameos, you know, nicely placed within the movie. And so yeah, it's, you know, it's got you know, a lot of different music in it too. It, you know, just to kind of accompany it. You know, it's a fun soundtrack. You know, it plays way too much Mariah Carey in it though, so it's, you know, Shawn Levy, the director, or, you know, somebody associated with the movie, apparently thought that you know, Mariah Carey's music was, you know, the right kind of music to portray this fun atmosphere. To me, it just brought the movie down a little bit for me personally, you know. But you know, hey, to each their own. You know, I'm sure some Mariah Carey fan is probably listening to this podcast right now, throwing tomatoes, you know, at their radio, their phone, whatever the case may be here. But I do not apologize, okay? I do not apologize for cringing whenever I hear a Mariah Carey song. So, but hey, that's, you know, neither here nor there. That's a small part of the movie. And so, yeah, like I mentioned here, Ryan Reynolds, he plays Guy. He does a great job in it. You know, Ryan Reynolds, he's just been a great actor, you know, ever since, I think the first time I saw him, even before I saw him in Waiting, because Waiting, I think, was, well, you know, probably not even Waiting, probably Van Wilder was the first movie that, you know, brought Ryan Reynolds to the attention of studio executives and casting directors and put him on the map. But he was also in a movie, you know, Waiting, where I think he played like a host at a restaurant. It was just, you know, a movie that pretty much just confirmed your worst fears about, you know, restaurants and, you know, what they do to your food or may do to your food, you know, if they don't like you, that kind of thing. It's kind of a movie that kind of reminds me of a restaurant version of The Office, you know, instead of, it doesn't have Steve Carell in it. It has Ryan Reynolds. But enough about that. But yeah, Ryan Reynolds has just had a great career, a long career, just a lot of different roles that he's done. I mean, I remember even back as far as him being in Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. That is one of my all-time favorite movies. I mean, I'm not just talking about comedies. I'm just talking about in general. Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle is hilarious, and Ryan Reynolds had a little role in that movie here. So I think he was a nurse in that movie, and yeah, he was just he was hilarious in that movie. It's kind of an early preview of what he would bring to Deadpool and other future movies. But then he also does you know, serious roles. He was. What's that movie he was in? I think it's called Buried. It's where he plays like a contractor in Iraq or Afghanistan, where somebody buries him in a box, and you know, he just, you know, he can't get out. You know, I think he's still got a phone on him. He's trying to get out, and I mean, it's a very dramatic role. I mean, you know, not a whole lot of comedy, you know, to a movie where a guy's trapped in a box underground. So, but you know, serious roles like that. He did another role with Sandra Bullock in a romantic comedy, you know, that was kind of serious. He's done, you know, other serious movies. Smoking Aces, that movie here with, just it was like that crime ensemble caper that he did back in the 2000s. That was a pretty good movie with him, and his role in that movie had not even one syllable of comedy in that. It was the exact opposite of Deadpool, and the exact opposite of this movie. So Ryan Reynolds, he is he's got an eclectic resume of roles, but he definitely shines in his comedic roles, just like he does in this role as Guy. And on that note here, you know what? This beer is calling me, so I'm gonna have another swig. And just to let you know, these beers that I'm drinking here, now, if you go out to your grocery store at your local area here, you may not find all these beers that I'm talking about here. This Community Brew Company beer that I'm talking about here today, Citrus Slice. Again, I always say, like, you may be in Minot, North Dakota, or Alamogordo, New Mexico. You're like, hey, that's great. You're getting that beer there in Texas, but I can't get it where I'm getting. And but you can get it, at a website like GoPuff.com and CraftShack.com. And again, I'm not getting any money from these websites to endorse their websites here. I don't want to be, a stingy hog and hog all the beer for myself. I want to give you guys a opportunity, give you guys a way to get, the beer that I'm drinking here that I'm enjoying. So, because I'm all about you. I care about you. This isn't just Van Ebert's world. Come on. I'm ready to spread the liquid joy here, the barley and hops to all my, I was going to say all my fans, but I don't think I'm at that point yet. I guess, let me put it this way. People that are listening to this podcast, there you go. I'm trying to do you guys a favor on this. But anyway, back to Free Guy.
Seriously, man, I'm just being honest. I think the bunny suit is just a little much.
Excuse me?
Right. Rabbit, okay? My fault.
Hey, 40-year-old virgin! Get over here!
Let's go.
Uh-huh. Captain Khakis, come here.
Go, let's go.
Come on, bud.
Closer.
There he is. Blue shirt guy.
Blue shirt. Yes. Hello, officer. Rabbit?
Nice skin.
Thank you. That's sweet.
How'd you get it?
Well, mostly genetics, I think. I'm pretty lucky. I have naturally dewy skin.
Listen up, Neutrogena. You know you can't go around looking like that. The rules are clear. And another thing, you can't hack the NPC avatars.
No, sir.
It screws up the mission load, and it makes the game look bad.
Horrible!
Yeah. I got like 5% of that.
Lose the skin!
How am I supposed to get rid of my skin?
Take it off, man. Just take it off. What are you doing?
What?
Seriously.
The whole thing, the face, the
How?
outfit, everything. Ditch it. If you don't, we're gonna kill you.
Why?
And we're gonna keep killing you.
Still why?
Until we do find out who you are, and then we're gonna ban you for
Okay,
life.
No. Okay, I want to comply. I just find the order of those threats very confusing.
Somebody's about to get shot.
Light 'em up.
Captain Khakis. Nice one. So, yeah, those characters there that were shaking down Ryan Reynolds in that scene. So what those are a couple of programmers or developers, from the video game company that creates a video game that Ryan Reynolds' character Guy lives in. And that's another thing about this movie is it's not just the video game world that Guy lives in. It cuts between that video game world and the real world. And in the real world, it mostly is involving the video game company that creates the video game that Guy lives in here, like I said. And in the movie, there, the girl that I was talking about earlier that Ryan Reynolds saw. So the girl he sees is a character named Molotov Girl that, of course, is a character that is controlled by, obviously, somebody in the real world. And her name is Millie. And Millie is a video game developer as well. And part of the plot is that Millie and then her video game programmer partner, Keys, played by Joe Keery, they developed a game that is, a little bit like the video game that Guy is in. And by the way, the name of the video game he's in is called Free City. And so they had a video game with a concept sort of like that, but their video game concept got stolen by a character named Antoine in the movie here, and he's played by Taika Waititi. Say that 10 times real fast. But Taika Waititi is plays Antoine, and Taika Waititi is not just an actor; he's also a director. He directed like Thor Ragnarok and Jojo Rabbit, some other movies. And so he's not just a actor; he's a director, and he's the main villain in this movie. Because every movie needs a protagonist and an antagonist, right? And so he is the antagonist in this movie, and his character, he stole Millie and Key's concept, video game concept, and turned it into Free City here. And so there's a whole subplot revolved around that. But so Jodie Comer. She plays Millie / Molotov Girl, and Jodie Comer's pretty good in this movie. I personally hadn't seen her in anything before, but I think she's gonna branch out nicely from here. It looks like she's in a movie coming up here. I think around Christmas. It has to do with like it looks like a medieval kind of King Arthur era movie that she's in with Matt Damon. And who else is in that movie there? I was going to say Benedict Cumberbatch, but it's not him. But anyway, so it looks like she's going to be in a movie, so she's going to branch out into other stuff and might be the start of a promising career for Jodie Comer. But she's pretty funny in this movie. She's got some good comedic chops here, some good comedic timing, and good chemistry with Ryan Reynolds, as well as good chemistry with Joe Keery as Keys. And Joe Keery... you'll recognize him if you ever watch Stranger Things. Is one of those instances where you'll see him and that guy, I know him from Stranger Things. Yeah, that's right. Which kind of makes sense because Shawn Levy, the director of this movie, is a producer on Stranger Things. So it's kind of funny how that works sometimes, right? Leonardo DiCaprio doesn't end up in a bunch of Martin Scorsese movies by accident, right? So it's a small filmmaking world. So Joe Keery, Shawn Levy, hey, they're making magic together here in Free Guy as well as Stranger Things. Another character in this movie is Guy's best friend in this movie. His name is Buddy, and he's played by Little Rel. And Little Rel is a pretty good comedic actor as well. And I think I saw him. I think he's in that Jordan Peele movie, Get Out. Yeah, it's kind of the comic relief in that movie too. And he's just kind of funny sidekick character to Guy in this movie, and he's another one of those NPCs here. And so I should explain the NPC concept in this. So NPCs here, and the video game folks are probably rolling their eyes like you need to explain to us what NPCs are, but to all those guys, all those people that aren't don't eat, sleep and breathe video games here. So NPCs are just like the secondary characters, like when you're playing a video game, you just see random people walking along on the sidewalk or in the park or on a boat. They're not really main characters. They don't do anything. They're just in the background. Those are what's called NPCs. And so Guy is an NPC. He's not a main character in the movie or in the video game, but he's an NPC. So and that's kind of the message from this movie here is the NPCs are looked down upon and taken for granted in this video game world where the actual characters, controlled by human beings playing a video game, they're the players and the characters that the video games are involved or revolve around. And the allegory to the movie is, hey, just because you're an NPC doesn't mean you can't stand out. You can be your own person, all that. So, which does in a practical sense, if you really think about it, and you you go a little deeper than this movie is like, well, if every NPC is a character or every NPC thinks they're the main character, it's kind of hard it makes it very difficult to what to design and flesh out a story in your video game if everybody's the main character. So, but it's a nice popcorn bubblegum bowl of ice cream, candy shop, kind of, pie in the sky, little allegory to the movie. Hey, everybody can just, be more than, everybody can be the main character. So it's, but I, don't, take the message, of this movie however you like. Take it as seriously or not as seriously as you like in this movie. I didn't take it very seriously, but I just appreciated the movie for the fun movie that it is, and the thing about this movie is maybe it's just the initial brain shock and subsequent trauma from hearing so much, Mariah Carey, quote unquote, music, in just one movie like this that's affecting my judgment of this movie. But, to be honest, I think you'll find this movie, somewhat fun to watch. It's just, however, like the bubblegum ice cream that's featured prominently in this movie. This movie, it looks and it tastes fun, but just for a brief moment. I mean, I didn't find myself really remembering this much of this movie at all after I left the theater, and I don't think it's trying to be like that. It's not trying to be Schindler's List, right? It's not trying to be The Passion of the Christ. It's not supposed to be one of these movies that, oh my God, I can't take my mind off this movie, Free Guy. It's just stuck with me. Oh, it's just made this. It's living rent free in my head. Now, it's not meant to be that kind of movie, and but it's a decent movie to you can shut your brain off for 90 minutes and check it out. There's I have to mention there's just a moment towards the end in this movie where 20th Century Studio that is the studio behind this movie, they're owned by Disney, and they try to incorporate a couple of their big franchises into this movie, towards the end. That's supposed to be this, jump out of your seat with excitement, yeah, kind of moment. But to me, it just, and, I just, maybe it's, me being a little too cynical, I don't know, but to me, it just came off as, shameless plugging of their own product. But, it's, take it how you will here. I guess been around long enough to where I saw it. I'm like, ugh, I groaned a little bit inside when I saw it. But, yeah, I mean, this movie is just a fun distraction, and check it out, for that reason there. And, Ryan Reynolds is, he's always a good, actor to check out there. He's usually pretty good in all his roles. And, there's just, some funny moments. I mean, believe me, there were a couple of moments in this movie that I did chuckle out loud, and it was funny. Just word of warning here, there are a couple of, moments where they try to sneak in some woke in this, but it's kind of hard to, not see that in movies nowadays, in this day and age. A lot of the creatives that create these movies, they just, they're up to, their woke is up their eyeballs, and so sometimes they let it leak out in their movies. And there's a couple of times in this movie where you just roll your eyes and, oh God, kind of like in the Spider-Man movies, or at least the first one, Spider-Man Homecoming. There's a couple of moments in Spider-Man Homecoming where they just, try to, shove, wokeness down your throat, but, it just, it's as fast as it's there, it's gone. So it's, it's not enough to, to not go see this movie, but, if you've got more than one brain cell, you'll notice it and think of it what you will. But I mean, again, this movie is a nice little vacation from reality. You don't have to be into video games to appreciate this movie. I'm not a gamer in any sense of the word, and I got, plenty of the references, and we don't have to, be all learned in the minutia of the video game world at all. It's a funny movie. It's an enjoyable movie, and yeah, go check it out. So yeah, feel free again, give me a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts. If you would be so kind, write a review here. Check me out on Instagram or Twitter again. And with that, I'm going to be signing off here, and we'll have another episode pretty soon with another movie and another brew. And you guys take it easy. Live the good life. Bye-bye.
Hey guys, don't leave the video quite yet. Okay, I've got the popo. They're coming after me.
And I don't have much time to tell you, but you need to like and subscribe this video right here, down below. It's right down there. It's just waiting. It's waiting for you down there, okay? And make sure you watch these videos over here too. You'll be doing me a big favor. I'll be in handcuffs pretty soon. All right. Thanks for watching.